This podcast is brought to you by Deepbridge Capital LLP. Deepbridge is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Please note that investments discussed are both illiquid and high risk and won't be suitable for all investors and should be considered as part of a diversified portfolio. The content of this podcast should not be construed as financial or taxation advice. We recommend investors seek appropriate professional financial advice. Any views expressed may no longer be current and may have already been acted upon. Welcome to this latest Deepbridge Discovery Podcast. My name's Andrew Aldridge. The purpose of this podcast is to bring to life the people and the investments that Deepbridge make. In this episode, I'm delighted to be joined by Andrew Hughes, Head of Renewables, and Tony Lyons, our Project Manager, to discuss the Deepbridge Challenge. The Deepbridge Challenge is an activity that Deepbridge colleagues do every year to raise money for a charity of our choice. Andrew, Tony, thank you very much for joining us. Good to chat. So we're talking about Deepbridge Challenge today, what the Deepbridge team have done over the years, and you guys have been instrumental in that. Kind of, you've been there, seen it all, done it all, been involved in every single challenge. So where did Deepbridge Challenge come from? What was the purpose? Kind of, why are we going through this hell every year? Tony?
I think it was more at the time. I think it felt that it would add something to the company, give us a reason to get together once a year to,
punish ourselves.
Yeah. To punish ourselves. I think it was personal to me because my mum having Alzheimer's, and I think the first charity we raised money for was Alzheimer's. And that. So that kind of started it all, really.
Yep.
But as you said before, why start on three peaks? Let's set the bar right away.
We did start the bar very high, but yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. But
I must admit that was my recollection was your mother, and obviously to support that, but it is a good idea. It does, certainly the challenges that we've done, you see different aspects of people, personalities. You talk to people that you don't normally talk to. See them operating in a challenging
it's
environment, and
it's good to see how people how react, and kind of certainly when it's kind of with a lot of these challenges, for a lot of people it's mind over matter, isn't it? And you can see actually what brings it out of people, really.
Yeah, and also we have heard some humorous moments from each of our challenges.
Mainly around you, Tony, but yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you. I like the fact that people don't keep bringing it up year on year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think
that's you threw your backpack in the stream and what have you.
We'll come on to key moments later, but I think that's one of the key things, isn't it? It does bring people together, and it's people always got a bit of banter or some dirt on somebody.
There was definitely a lot of dirt on people on Saturday. But it's good. And I can't remember who said it, but on Saturday, obviously we have get-togethers, and we, whether it's the races or Christmas nights out or whatever, people do tend to sort of move into their own little cliques and sort of stick with it. But on the challenges, you do sort of spend time with everyone.
And you have to help each other out. There's people going through dark phases at different times or struggling, and everyone kind of roots in and helps each other out.
Support the people that don't quite finish, things like that.
And how many of the team usually take part? What's roughly how many people in each?
It's 58 or so in the business at the moment. We generally say about a third, I would say.
Yeah.
We try and make it as inclusive.
Tends to be the same people, doesn't it? On the whole, we give one.
So we get new people joining every year, don't we? So it's good to introduce them into it as well.
Yeah, and people have got other things on, and that's not a problem. It's voluntary.
Yeah.
But we try, the fact that, bar Tough Mudder, they've been walking challenges, it means that everyone can do it. We try and think about certainly how much time people give up. There's some issues about the 3 peaks, because it was essentially 3 days.
Weekends, yeah, absolutely.
Drive up on the Friday and then the 2 days. Non-specialist equipment, keep the costs down, raise as much as we can for charity. So it's there for everyone, whether they choose to do it or not. But it's good fun, and after each one that we've done so far, it's all been positive, despite the fact that on occasions at the time it might be less positive.
I don't think we've had any serious injuries yet, have we? I think there's maybe a cracked vertebrae that was just diagnosed several months later, but apart from that, I think nothing too seriously.
No, I think we've been pretty good. A few strained muscles, a few sore muscles, but no, nothing more than that.
No, good. And so kind of start at the beginning. We've been doing these we've done 5 now, I think. Kind of where did we start? What was the first, and why did we decide to do that first of all, Tony?
I think it was something that was. It was a personal challenge to me. Yeah, and I was almost looking to get other people.
You dragged us down with you. Is that what it was?
I think I must have. I think so. I'd always had in my my bucket list of things I always wanted to do 3 peaks, and when I started the conversation here, a few people kind of said, "Oh, actually, I'd quite like to do that as well." Yeah. So, and then it kind of went from there, really.
Yeah, and I think that first year we raised over $5,000 for the Alzheimer's Society, and it was all very well received. But that was an interesting weekend. Yeah, I think as you alluded to beforehand, drive up on the Friday, then start walking about 5 o'clock on the Saturday, and some precarious overnight driving down to Scarfell Pike and things.
I thought the driving was spot on.
Oh, okay, your bit was, yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Until the end, but yeah, I overextended my shift.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I shouldn't have, because I almost killed us all. But anyway,
it's right. We'll gloss over that. That's right. Like I said, no serious injuries, and no deaths. That's an important thing.
Yeah. I remember the Ben Nevis on that one when we got rained on coming back down, and by the time we got to the vehicles, I remember taking off my boots and emptying the water out. It came out like a torrent, and wringing the socks out, and all inside the vehicle there were bits and pieces all hanging up, trying to dry out, ready for.
I was doing my usual thing of sweeping up kind of at the rear of the group, and I remember making a couple of colleagues run for a bit. That was just to get out of the sheer hell of that rain that was coming down like only it can in Scotland. But yeah, Andy, what do you remember about the 3 peaks?
That it was a proper challenge, and obviously staying up till 3 a.m, drinking the night before added the Deepbridge edge to it.
I think that extra bottle of whiskey we had was probably what we felt next day. Yeah.
I just think what a great challenge, and whether I can't remember the exact number, 6 or 7 did it in the 24, but everyone did all 3 peaks. Yeah. And it did set the bar pretty high on what we've done subsequently, but it was a proper challenge, and I've done lots of stuff over my life, but that goes down as one of the good ones. It's
and I think we learned from it, didn't we, that actually to make it as accessible as possible for all of the team is we couldn't do a challenge like that every year, because not everyone would be able to do that kind of level of challenge, because it was a big challenge.
We did, and also I think probably what people need to remember is everybody that was down for it actually did do quite a bit of training beforehand. They actually did do a few mountains before they actually, come the day, and everybody certainly had the kit to do it as well, which is definitely needed. Yeah.
And then subsequently after that, I think the next year we did Tough Mudder, which was probably the only time we've done an inverted commas, an organised fun activity, if you like. But that brought its own unique challenges.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I laughed a lot on that. That was good.
Very inclusive, that one. But we have probably some of our fondest memories of people absolutely caked from head to toe in this horrible kind of brown kind of mud, just the whites of their eyes showing. And
I think that mainly I remember coming off the monkey bars, you falling into the muddy water, and you could smell it before you hit it. That was
I'll never forget. Washing horses in there, and I think there were fish guts and whatever. It was awful.
It was, yeah. Andy, what was your takeaway from a Tough Mudder?
Just comedy, the reactions of people, cold water. I think it was Lewis. Did he pull me out of a tunnel or something, and we both fell in?
Yeah, he basically nearly drowned you. Yeah. Again, nobody's been seriously injured. Yeah.
And just how hard people push themselves. I think that was harder work than some people envisaged initially, and no one complained. We went at the pace of the slowest person. We started as a team, finished as a team, and it was just comedy gold. It was funny.
As one of the more robustly built people, I guess I'll describe myself as. I remember being the bottom of several human pyramids, getting over walls and things. But that was good.
But I remember Major showing us how to, these very tall wooden walls, and what the technique we had to use, because the rest of us were just stood there looking at this wall, going, "How where do we begin?
It's good to have somebody in military training for things like that.
Somebody with us actually showed us, how to stand and whatever. So,
what about the electric shocks, Tony? How was that?
I laughed. I must have laughed for about 3 or 4 minutes, non-stop, when Phil got stung on the ear.
Yep.
It wasn't actually anything he'd done. It was just someone else went flying through, and it just happened to swing towards him and caught him right on the top of his ear. And I remember him yelping.
Yeah.
And,
like a wounded dog, wasn't he? But anyway,
So, shouldn't laugh really, but it was funny.
It was.
Yeah, well, I'd done one before, so I knew what the electric shocks were about. So I wasn't looking forward to that.
No, that's fair enough. That's it was an experience. And then moving on from there, we did the following year, 2019. That would have been, we did the Sandstone Trail, which was, I think we advertised as 34 miles. We did over 36 miles in the end, but we'll gloss over some map reading errors. But that was from Shropshire to the north of Cheshire. That was nice and flat, that one, wasn't it?
It was very flat.
Yeah,
very flat. There was only the Prestatyn hills that showed anything other than flat.
It was just
went
endurance,
on
wasn't it?
and on and on.
It was a long day, that.
Was,
yeah.
So we started at 6 o'clock in the morning. I think we actually started, didn't we, on the trail?
7, I think we started.
Was it 7?
I think we met at the office at 6 and then got going at 7.
I remember it being an early start. That one.
Yeah. But it was good fun, and again, because it was very inclusive, we got a number of new people that probably hadn't done challenges before joining us, which was good.
Yeah. It was great to see that van.
Yeah,
you were, or minibus, should I say, that you organised, because every time it rocked up, there was always chocolate bars, and sweets to keep you going.
That was good.
But no, that just again, it was a very long day.
Yeah, but it was nice. Sam joined us for a bit, didn't she? And people sort of popping in and out if they couldn't sort of commit to a full day. Like on Saturday with Jamie and Joy joining, delivering lunch and stuff. So, even if you can't do it all or couldn't commit to a full day, people are happy to sort of pitch up and muck in. So it does build team spirit. You do get to see your colleagues in a different environment, and
you do.
Strip back the work. I say facade, but face, if you like, and actually get to know people properly. And it is good.
Yeah, you really have that amount of time to spend chatting to people as well, and just getting to know them and seeing them in that environment, I guess.
Yeah, and can they laugh at pay?
Yeah, that's a key thing. Yeah,
but no injuries.
Yeah, no injuries again, and no deaths again. Yeah. So obviously during COVID, we couldn't get out as we'd planned. So, and you want to just kind of go through what we did that year instead as a bit of something a bit different?
Well, I think everyone has got step trackers. So was it here to New York? Was that the initial?
Chester to New York,
Chester to
3,300 miles.
And I think after about 2 hours the challenge started, I think we'd gone past the coast of Ireland, because I think everyone was doing about 20,000 steps a day. I think.
Yeah, so over the course of a month, collectively we had to do 3,300 miles, and I think in the first weekend everyone took it very seriously, and I think we thought there was a danger we might be past New York by the end of the first week.
We ended up mid Philadelphia or something like that.
We ended up. Well, no, I think we ended up somewhere. I think it was nearly Colorado. I think where we ended up in the end.
Not bad. Yeah.
But I noticed as well the form that we had to go on to fill in that we'd done our 3 miles a day was getting quite competitive.
It was
towards the end.
Yeah, we'll blame Lewis for that. Yeah.
No, Lewis was definitely. He was either 1 or 2, wasn't he? Depending on who.
Absolutely.
Andrew Cosentino, I think, was the other one.
Yeah. So this year we've just done the weekend before I was recording this. We've just done our latest one, which was compared to Sandstone Trail. Just about 20 miles, 22 miles, which sounds very, very easy, much shorter. But I think we sold it to everyone internally that it was a nice flat walk, but that wasn't really the case.
No, I think the narrative changed nearer the time. Once we'd done our recce, we'd done that the weekend before, just checking whether the vehicles were going to meet up and that. But realising that actually there was a lot actually of hills.
Yep. Undulation, isn't it?
Undulation,
gentle
you want to call
undulation.
it.
Gentle undulation.
Some of them did look rather high.
Yeah.
So I think I actually changed the narrative to is anything but flat. Whether people misheard me on that one, but I think it did come as a shock that there were so many hills.
Yeah, but that was about 10.5 hours of walking.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than the Sandstone Trail.
Bit more interesting.
Yeah, and I think some people were surprised by
the challenge.
Some of the hills, some of the gentle undulations that were there.
Well, I think when we think about these things each year, and when we get together, and there's a group of 5 or 6 of us who sit down every year to think about what we're going to do, and it's always got to be a challenge. It can't just be a walk in the park. And I think we've raised about £2,500 so far for cancer research. So it's certainly worthwhile us doing these things and people digging in to do it.
Yeah, I think every year it's always a tough decision as to what we're going to do. But I think one thing is certain: we're always very very aware of it being seen as a challenge as well. So when people look to sponsor us, they think that's not easy. It's been. And
you didn't put your phone on silent, Tony.
No, clearly not.
That's good. Anyway, that's all right.
I dare say it was a wife.
We won't edit that out. We'll just leave that in just for embarrassment for you. But yeah, that's good. So in terms of we mentioned some of the numbers we've raised, but how much we raised to date?
Is it 15 grand, something like that?
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. And how I think we touched on it slightly about the first year that we supported Alzheimer's, because obviously Tony, your mother had unfortunately passed away due to Alzheimer's and things. But how do we tend to go about what's the conversation, and where do those ideas, which charity support, come from?
Normally internally, someone will have something personal to them at the time. It started that way with Tony and his mother, and well, I must admit I've not been involved in all the conversations on the decisions for which charity, but normally someone comes up with a suggestion and it's backed and supported by the team, and then off.
And I think this year it was a no-brainer that we chose cancer research. Cancer's been affected everyone in the company this year, and I think that was kind of a no-brainer this year.
Yeah.
So what's I know I'm part of this conversation, and we tend to go around in circles quite a bit most years, but kind of in your minds, what do you look for in a challenge, or what do you kind of, when we're having those meetings, what do you guys kind of want us to do when we're looking at challenges?
I think, well, sort of touched on it before, it's got to be inclusive, so open to everyone, and that does narrow things down. We don't want to put people off, but it's got to be a challenge. We're not just asking people to give us money for, no particular purpose. This year was definitely a challenge. But yeah, all inclusive to the team. Like I mentioned before, the first one we did was a 3-dayer, and that's a big commitment, certainly for the people with families and stuff. So if we can bang it out in a day, I thought Tough Mudder was brilliant because it's organised for you, but obviously there's a cost to that. But turn up, do it, leave, a couple of beers, something to
get your t-shirt,
your t-shirt and headband. But again, also Tony mentioned before that it tends to be the sort of same people that do it every year. So maybe in future we are a little bit more not selfish, but we do make it slightly different rather than another walking challenge. We do something.
Yeah, but I think if you think we've got about 35 people in head office here in Chester, and usually we get somewhere between 20 and 25 people, predominantly from head office. I mean, because for the people around the country, again, it's an extra commitment to have to travel up and do things. So I think pretty much everyone in the company has been and done at least tried at least one of the challenges. So I think we've covered most of the bases.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely. But I think we have looked at, we'll continue to look at whether we can do one that potentially, whether it's a triathlon type event, there's a bit of kayaking, a bit of biking, a bit of running, or or walking on the end or something, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But my colleagues, not everybody's got their own kayak or whatever to practice or whatever, so it might be a bit difficult.
I don't think any of us have got our own kayak, have we? Just knock it around.
I haven't.
No.
No. Just pleased to see me.
But no, I as I said before, it mixes it up. But so we'll see.
So which is, I think I know your answer, Andy, but what's been your favourite challenge so far?
I think the 3 Peaks, because that is a bucket list thing, and it was a challenge, and we did it. We did it in the 24. So we set out to achieve something. It meant something to Tony, obviously, and his brother, who joined us on the challenge.
He did nearly kill us, but that's a different story.
He did.
But I think it was that. Although Tough Mudder was funny. Really
that was funny. That was. I remember laughing around most of that.
Yeah.
Tony, what about yourself?
I probably would concur with Andrew. I think Three Peaks was one of those kind of having done it and lived to tell the tale kind of stuff. It's personal to you.
Yeah.
I mean, not only for the charity that you managed to raise money for, but it's a personal thing for yourself as well. So that's always a part of going back to the why do we pick certain challenges? Because I say some of them, you've always wanted to do yourself, and if you can get other people to to buy into that, then it's going to be good for everybody really. But you want people to have, like, even the last challenge. Yeah, I know people are still sore and aching today. But they'll probably in a few months' time be reflecting back and thinking that was a hell of a day.
Well, I think we've got I won't mention names. It's probably a bit harsh, but a couple of people who, well, certainly one who was within the first probably hour was saying that she was wanting to quit, etc. But she got to the end, and that was purely mind over matter. And when you see people do that, it's inspiring, and it's you can be very proud of your colleagues when they're doing things like that.
Yeah, I don't think we get out of our way to push people to such extremes. But,
no.
But it is, as I say, it is something that people can be proud of, that they stuck with it.
And the elephant in the room is that she finished and I didn't. So there you go. That's but yeah, well,
but that's some people don't get the opportunity to work out what they're capable of and to push themselves further than they have before. And on every challenge we've done, well, okay, the lockdown one was a bit different, but the 3 walking ones in Tough Mudder, someone has really struggled to finish, but has done it, and that is an achievement that they wouldn't have that opportunity to do under normal circumstances. So it is amazing what people can push themselves to do.
And probably I would say as well, so things like the Sandstone Trail, which if you mention to anybody, they say, so how many days did you do it over? You go, no, we did it in the one day. They went in the one day. So they a lot of people are aware of these challenges, and they go, respect, because they know that's not been easy to.
And obviously the most recent one was the Offas Dyke Path, which goes along the hills of North Wales, and I think anybody who's ever looked at the Offas Dyke Trail, etc., can see exactly what a challenge that is. It's
I wish I had. Didn't have a clue it was going to be like that.
And you can read them out.
And I can read them out.
So go on. And so what kind of standout moments do you remember? Kind of, what were the moments? I mean, I'll go first. I mean, there's obviously when Tony dropped his bag in the stream. That was probably we'll go. That's in the catalogues of Deepbridge now. But
well, you didn't bother with the bag this time, just in case.
Absolutely.
I couldn't
it was noticeable in its absence.
I thought there's too many cameras around.
I think certainly on each of the 3 peaks, it was people pushing themselves, and certainly Snowdon, our little mini argument on the way down, you going, no, we'll be fine, we'll make it, and me saying, no, we need to run now, and we did it. Tough Mudder for me was Tomo, a mile in, starting to walk, and just thinking this is going to be a long day.
Yeah, but he got there.
But he did it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's the smiling faces. Here we are, Tuesday, 4 days after the event, and people are still talking about it. I always think every year that how nice that is that people are still talking about it, smiling about it, laughing about it. And that, if people were in doubt this time, they'll see that, they'll see what it meant to people and join in next time.
And we've got that from all of them. There's moments, again, I remember, the peak of Snowdon when, it was, I think the official term, it was blowing a hilly. There was horizontal rain coming in. It felt like ice, the rain on your face, etc. But it was you were there, and it was just a matter of getting back down, which when you got dodgy knee was particularly painful. But we'll gloss over that. But there's those moments where and there's those funny moments from it as well, which whether it be when the night before the 3 peaks in a pub in Scotland, whether it be cursing that bottle of whiskey we drank on this the night before, or whatever.
Your paper napkin, bra and knickers.
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I've still got the photo evidence, which if anybody wants, please email us and we can provide. That's absolutely fine.
Well, on the subject of photo evidence, I thought in the last challenge, what looked like a bank paparazzi when Andrew was being chased by that ram in the field.
Yeah, I think
that
nice will live long in the memory of everyone who's seen that photo. Is the major being chased by a ram. That was
I didn't run, to be fair.
I don't, you sped up.
I sped up. I definitely sped up. I don't think it helped me much, but
No. So, Tony, any kind of standout moments from the last kind of 5 challenges?
Well, as I said, I think some of the funniest ones you just alluded to were the Tough Mudder. I think there was just so many comedy spectacles, and that whether it was a revolving, drums in the was it Block Death Monster, I seem to recall. But
right.
there's no easy way of going head first into a trough, is there?
No.
You can't look good doing it.
No.
And coming up to the top, coughing and spluttering and covered in brown water and mud and whatever. So
I mean, the ice bath that was quite that was quite memorable. That was in that as well. That was I think all gentlemen that have done that kind of cross their legs when you think of that.
There was a few good noises
absolutely
on that one,
and also asking your colleagues to kind of help pull you out of that mud.
Yeah,
remember the one the real gloopy mud? It was like, because I nearly lost my trainer in one of those. I could feel it coming off my foot, and I thought, I can't be.
I think in other teams there was a few people we saw running around with just one shoe on because they'd lost it. But Good. So go on and so who surprised you most? I mean, this is the bit where I think we can name names without kind of being rude about them. So and who surprised you most, or you've been particularly proud of, or whatever it might be.
Individuals, difficult. Lots of people have done, Nat on the last one, struggling almost from the start, but pushed herself until, in the end, I sort of made the decision, and we were virtually at the end.
You were less than a mile from the end.
But I was really proud of her because she kept going, and everyone's got their own memories of that. I mean, Tough Mudder, I guess Tomo, he pushed himself really hard on that one.
I think everyone did, to be around that one, because I think it was, even those who are kind of athletically fit, I mean, it assaults all your kind of muscle groups and senses and everything, doesn't it? So, yeah.
And some people started with injury, you on Snowdon, you shouldn't have done the 3 peaks, but you did it. Other people were, having problems and turned up and took part. So everyone that does it,
everyone puts their name down to start with. I think that's the first thing, isn't it?
Sandstone, last few miles, you still stuck in there, didn't you?
Well, that's just my dodgy knee. I mean, that's nothing to be proud of.
Still finished, still completed.
But I think there's lots of people in that, and I think again, it's also the fact that everyone sticks together and helps the people through it. I mean, it's I think, and between the 3 of us, kind of, Andy always powers people through and beats them if they need to, or stays behind with them, or I usually kind of bring up the rear until this year, and Tony, you kind of just you're in between, just making sure everyone is okay. And I think as a team and there's other individuals as well, and I think that's always impressive to see. But I think there's only 3 people I think they've completed all of them now. Is that the pair of you and Phil Secret? I think is there anybody else who did all of them?
I don't know.
I think that's.
Hadn't thought. To be fair, Phil. Yeah. There's never a drama with Phil. He cracks on,
and he always has a beer or a hip flask with him. So he's always very popular.
And a bottle of whiskey.
So
that's good lad.
So good. So okay. So the question that we ask all of our podcast guests is about the Deepbridge dinner party. So you can invite 3 guests each in this situation. No friends or family, because we don't offend anybody, dead or alive. Tony, start with you. Who are the kind of 3 guests that you would invite and why?
Elvis Presley.
Okay.
I kind of guess. I just think he'd be a really interesting guy to talk to. All the everything he did in his lifetime, and
you dance like him as well, don't you?
Sings and dances.
I'm not sure about that, but
excellent. Okay, Elvis, good. Yep, and 2 others.
Oh God, I don't know. Princess Diana.
Okay,
she'd be quite interested.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It's quite interesting. That's good.
There we go. I should find plenty to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you got a third one?
Third one, I don't know. Rather pertinent, I suppose. The Queen.
Yeah.
I know it won't happen now, but it would have been nice.
Somebody who's seen so much history and met so many people, and very good. Andy, what about yourself?
So the Queen's going to be there already, is she?
Apparently so, yeah.
Excellent.
But not sat next to Princess Diana.
Unlikely. Oliver Reed. I
Okay,
think he needs to be there.
I'm sure he'd have a few stories.
Yeah, probably about the Queen. Don't know, music. Liam Gallagher.
Okay. Yeah.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Don't know really. Alexander the Great, but he's got a few tales as well.
Okay. Yeah. Good. We've definitely never had Alexander the Great on as an answer on this, so that's
quite like sort of historical fiction books. So
yeah, that's good.
He's travelled a bit.
Yeah, good, excellent. Okay, well, gents, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And I think for those people who are interested in what we've done on Deepbridge Challenge and things, if you go to deepbridgechallenge.co.uk, if you want to donate to support us on our fundraising, then please do so. Thank you very much. Cheers, gents.
No worries.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you found that interesting. If there's any topics you'd like us to cover in future Deepbridge podcasts, please email us at discovery@deepbridgecapital.com. Thank you. This podcast was brought to you by Deepbridge Capital LLP. Deepbridge is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Please note that investments discussed are both illiquid and high risk and won't be suitable for all investors and should be considered as part of a diversified portfolio. The content of this podcast should not be construed as financial or taxation advice. We recommend investors seek appropriate professional financial advice. Any views expressed may no longer be current and may have already been acted upon.